I have chosen this particular denim-clad outfit today because marketing does work, kids. First thing I saw on my phone this morning was the Cat's Eye Gap ad. Not my first time seeing it, but the first time that I have looked at it and immediately thought, if I don't wear denim today, I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Anyway, I just got back from a month of traveling. Yay! I'm so tired. So the past 3 videos that have been put up on this channel all were pre-filmed and scheduled so that I could go and help my dad accomplish another one of his bucket list items. He's had the same list since college and has not changed it and has been slowly achieving everything. I helped him accomplish his second to last item, which was to go on a trip to Thailand. It was so much fun. I loved being able to go with him and we just had a great time. But while I was there, I went to a store where, I kid you not, the only women's tops they had available. Oh my gosh, must you all siren right now? Anyway, in this store there were racks of men's clothing and women's clothing, but there was only one type of top for women. They had various dresses, trousers, skirts, etc., but the only tops they had in stock were 2020's Does Edwardian blouses, which I've seen before, but seeing so many at once made me realize maybe I should do a project I've been putting off for a while, which is in this magical little book here. This is my one of my older costume journals, and it is literally stacked full of drawings and ideas. One of which is this little guy, which is a transforming modern sundress to Edwardian lingerie gown. And so in this video, we are making the sundress because I want to. Also, I have been wanting to do this for so long, and I've just been hoarding lace and trim and anything and everything that looks like it could go on this dress for going on 3 years now. So I think I actually have enough to make it work. I've only given myself 2 days to make this dress, which isn't impossible, just kind of stressful. So let's get on that. And now I actually have to start. Okay.
The first thing I'm going to be doing is getting a base layer made out of a plain cotton using a collared shirt that I have as a pattern base, just stretching it out, tracing with a pencil, and truing it up with the only straight edge I could find, which was a book on how to be a YouTuber. Then it all gets cut out with the one thing that I will never measure.
The day I don't freehand my seam allowances, call somebody.
I'm making use of the leftover cotton by cutting out some waistbands. I'm making 2 of these, which will end up being 2 inches wide when finished.
Normally, I'm way more stressed out about measuring things, but I've been trying to embrace the, Macara tours of it all, if you will, and just wing things more often, because I have it in me. I know I do, somewhere. See, normally I'd be laying this all out and I would be double checking and chalk marking everything, but I gave myself 2 days to do this, and I've never done this before, and so I think that wild improvisation is going to be the best route for this. May not seem like it should be the best route for this, but I think it's going to be. And now we have 2 waistbands. Yeah, I can improvise. I can do this. I can stay strong.
And stay strong she did, through the cutting out of 2 waistbands, 3 pieces for the top, 4 pieces for the shoulder wings, and then beginning on cutting out 4 separate circle skirts, 2 solid layers and 2 sheer layers to go over top with the lace insertion. Circle skirts are pretty easy once you figure out your circumferences, but the minute you figure them out, write it down because you will forget. I then begin the long process of hemming all of these pieces because I want this all to be very neatly finished with no fraying, so I'm doing rolled hems on everything. And if you want to see a human being collapse in horror in real time, here is me, realizing that my bobbin did indeed run out over a foot of sewing ago. Listen in, folks.
Why?
Pure anguish if I've ever seen it, but I did fix it and soldier on, except, of course, for when I realized my tension was wrong and had to redo the section anyway.
Here's where we at the end of day... Where we at? Oh my goodness. Here's where we are at the end of day one thus far. This is where the top is at. All of my pieces, I hemmed everything but this bottom edge because this is just getting tucked into the waistband, and then started stitching it together. I left the side bottom here open so that when the waistband opens here, there will be enough room for me to get in and out of it. And then so this can close nice and snug on the neck for the tall collar I'm going to make later. The back of this just has a little opening here as well. All in all, pretty happy with how it's coming together. It's a nice this is going under everything else. Kind of acting as like the built-in corset cover that would be in a normal lingerie dress. For the two panels down the front, put together these things, which more and more I'm realizing make me look a little bit like Wolverine. So these basically are just going to go up on my shoulders like this, and I do want it to be a little dramatic so that when I add the sleeves in later, they won't show. So this little overhang is perfect, and it's just going to go over the front like this, and then the other one will go here, same in the back. For the skirt, I've gotten 2 layers of it done. There's going to be a lot of these, but they have the side closure opening that's going to match up with the, just put this in here, with the other side of it, and then I've made a shorter little flounce to go on top of it as well so I can make it ruffly, and I think it's going to be so cute. But these have been hemmed everywhere except the top, because that's going to get tucked into the waistband as well. Speaking of the waistband, I have 2 waistbands here. One that's going to be pretty and stay on the outside when I stitch everything down, and one that I will do all the actual messy sewing things to that will remain inside the dress. If there's one thing I will always manage to do in a sewing project, it is hide all of the loose ends and mistakes. Might work on this a little bit today, might just save it for tomorrow, but next is working with this polyester chiffon that was a curtain that I found. So these are skirts that I cut out that are going to go over the others, and then I've also got some pieces that are going to match up onto the top, and this will have all of our lace bits put in and through it to where it gives the see-through illusion, but not actually, because I would like to wear this just as I am now, with a bra, and not a corset and a corset cover and blah 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 blah. Not bad for a day's work. I'm gonna go eat some dinner, and I will update you accordingly.
Here's your update. I had some pesto pasta and found the energy to start adding some of the lace trim to the bottom of the skirts before I decided to call it a day.
It's looking so good! This is all the skirt layers laid out, and these both have lace trim on them. However, because I can never leave well enough alone, I want to take this lace that I have, and I want to put it around this, oh so delicately, and then do what's called insertion lace, where I cut the back out and fold it over to where this is see-through, and then the skirt layer underneath can cover it, I guess. However, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. Oh my gosh, this is a straight piece of lace. This is a circle skirt. How are you going to make that work? And the answer is I have no idea. We're going to improvise and just sew very slowly and hope ideas come to me in the middle of doing this.
To this day, couldn't tell you how it worked, but it did, so I cut back the middle and hemmed it to either side. Then I got started on some pin tucks, which include folding over pieces of fabric to create a striped effect, which I will then add onto the shoulder wing pieces. This, of course, was right before disaster struck.
I was taking a break and eating some yogurt. Don't judge the size of it because it is technically more affordable per ounce this way. But I was eating yogurt and then I accidentally bit the spoon with my front teeth. And I've already chipped these once. I got so scared for a second that I sat here for a solid minute just holding the spoon in my mouth, afraid to unclench my jaw. Because what if some of my tooth came away with it? And I legitimately was just here, jaw clenched, spoon in my mouth, tears welling up in my eyes because of the possibility of chipping one of my teeth again. And that is on having a bad dental history and anxiety. I think yogurt time's over, and I'm gonna get back to work.
Rumor has it that to this day, she still hasn't used a spoon. She did, however, go on to add those pin tucks and some insertion lace onto the shoulder wings. If I do say so myself, they look adorable. Then some lace chevrons were appliqued to the front panel of the blouse. No insertion because I was feeling lazy.
Not bad. So I've got this bib piece that I'm just pinning in place. And I'm not bothering to do these side pieces because they're gonna get tamped down anyway by the little shoulder wings, so I'm not too terribly worried about that. However, I did realize that the bottom-most tier of the skirt in lace I have somewhere in this mess. Found it. It was on the door the whole time. I have just enough left of this to make up the collar of the dress, so I'm going to sew this bib piece down at the top and bottom, and then just because I prefer a whip stitch for these things, because I find it more flexible, I'm going to whip stitch this onto the neck like this. And it's going to close with a snap at the little opening in the back, but I'm also going to add a snap to the top of this just so it's extra secure. Here's where we are. Very little lad, very Preminger. It's a temporary subject. It's a momentary lapse, if you know what I mean. But this is all about to be hidden because I have attached this little collar here. I've put a bunch of closures in so it actually fits on me. And I've put it into the inside waistband, not the pretty cover-up waistband, just this one. I've pinned it. I'm being stabbed by all those pins right now, so I'm going to talk faster. And I'm going to put on the wing things now. Here it is. I feel like Optimus Prime. But in like a sleigh kind of way. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a curling iron, and I'm going to make this part like kind of wavy and curly so it's a little less spiky. But otherwise I just got this sewn into the waistband on the back and the front, and because there are so many sheer slippy materials going on, I've got pins at a couple points that I just want to tack down with some hand sewing real quick. And then skirt time. Still got to put a skirt on. Otherwise it's not a dress, it's just a wild crop top.
Since I'm not going for an Edwardian crop top look, I added on the skirts one layer at a time to make sure everything was sitting correctly, and proceeded to hand stitch the pretty waistband on top of everything, securing all those layers down while giving it a nice clean finish for the reveal. love how this dress came out so much. The only thing I was having trouble with is that I think I want to starch the collar just so it stands up a little straighter, but otherwise I would not change a thing about it. I'm so excited to, in the future, be able to add my detachable sleeves and a longer skirt for under it so that I can have an Edwardian lingerie gown, which is something that I've wanted to make, but I always feel a little bad having these historical costumes that I don't wear all that often. But this also being a cute sundress just makes it so much more excusable as an item in my closet. It's also always so nice to have one of the things out of this book done. This is my only sketchbook that is just costume design. My other ones are a mix of everything. And it's almost entirely full, and I think it contains some of my best work. So every time I get to complete a project from it, I am just so grateful. Actually, I probably won't complete everything in it ever, and I won't complete most of it for another few years, because so much of it is grand ideas. So if you guys would like a little sketchbook tour, let me know, because it's full, and I love it. So yeah, let me know in the comments if that would be a video that interests you guys. Just a, little short one, but still kind of fun sketchbook tour. It's got costumes, cosplays, historical fashion, and everything in between. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you, and I hope you liked this dress as much as I liked being able to wear it and frolic in a park in it, which was an absolute dream. If you want to see me make more costumes and dresses, etc., or draw and design them, be sure to check out my channel where I also happen to do lots of, movie, TV, media analysis, costuming, and otherwise. If your attention span is not feeling up to more YouTube, be sure to check out my Instagram and my TikTok for some short form content. And if you want to support the channel, consider joining my Patreon. I hope you have a good day or night or whenever you happen to be watching this, and bye!
Available? Oh my gosh, must you all siren right now? You've got to be kidding me. I'm losing my mind every week.
What else have I got in here? Good Omens, Heartstopper, Game of Thrones, the Titanic era, Our Flag Means Death, Jessica Rabbit, Hell of a Boss, Has Been Hotel, Wicked, Les Mis, The Animated Thumbelina, My Little Pony, Ever After High, She-Ra, Critical Role / Vox Machina,